and welcome back to the Group 8 Group Spring Overwatch Tournament Finals. My name is Williams IV, and I've got Soav with me, finally on camera for the first time. Soav, how are you doing?
Yeah, it's beautiful to be here. This is great. It's the finals of the battle of the boardroom here. I'm excited to see what these guys normally bound up in suit, the guys and gals in suit and ties can bring to the battlefield. I know it's been a long way to get here, and now at the finals, there's two strong teams in Team Botan and Turbo Slack here. So very excited to see what these guys bring to the table.
Yep, we started this tournament with 12 teams that went into an 8-team single elimination playoff. When now we're down to the final two teams, and we've seen these two teams before play on the tournament, and so we have high expectations for the grand finals here. We're going on. So like unlike every other match we've had, it's going to be a best of 5, and so we get to at least see 3 maps, right? Yep. But like in the previous matchups for both of these teams, they've gone 2-0, 2-0, 2-0. Like even a third place match yesterday, or I say yesterday as in last week. Yeah. But like went 2-0, and unfortunately we were trying to do this last week as well, but like we had some emergency maintenance, which I was not even aware of. Right, we were like, wait, there's a maintenance thing going on, like so we got surprised by that on Thursday. So now we're down here on Monday. So I appreciate you all sticking with us through the entire thing. But Soav, you know. I'm looking forward to the team play if I'm being honest, because I remember like Alakash was probably on the right heart the majority of the time, and it's been strong team play from both sides on both of these teams, and so that's why they're here in the grand finals.
Yeah, this Alakash versus Serena matchup is going to be very interesting because there's two, from my understanding, there's 2 different distinct styles of tank play, but both of them very dominant, very leading the charge, kind of like you want your tank to be a leader in a lot of ways. So I'm very curious to see how the rest of these players really do enable these tanks to swing, to go deep, and just to kind of enable their play styles. The other thing we're keeping an eye out on are these big damage-heavy bastions that have come out. There have been a lot.
We've seen a lot of bastions.
We've seen a lot of bastions, and as a bastion enjoyer myself on the part-time, there is so much you can do with that when you get him into position. So really, it's going to be important actually to pick up those bastions and really keep these tanks in check. So really the team play has to come in big now, and I expect it out of both of these teams.
Well, absolutely. Well, let's take a look at our map scene here. It's going to be Ilios to start off with the control. Now, again, loser does pick the next map, and we've seen like kind of like the order, like hybrid order, or at least hybrid maps in the next picks. We've seen King's Row, we've seen Blizzard World, like a couple times we're picked off Blizzard World, and I'm like, what? Like seriously? like low key like things. So here we go. We're gonna get started on our first map of Ilios, and man, I cannot wait. This is gonna be amazing for both of these teams.
I agree with you completely. Well, this is going to be an incredible setup for these guys. Now, you know better than I. What are you expecting to see out the gates from these teams?
I mean, listen, Tibbs was like most of Turbo Slack's composition was based on like hit scan DPS and Serena again being on that tank, but at the same time, Tibbs pulled out a Pocket Widow last time we saw like on King's Row, and it's going to start off on the soldier, and also the hammers are going to come out as well. Oh my goodness! And so like this is the first time I've not seen a hit scan DPS comp from Turbo Slack, and then the other side we got the Sojourn and the Bastion Alakash as well. And look, okay, so Alakash was playing the Roadhog the entire time, would not switch off of it, and Serena was on another tank. So here we go. It's our first match in grand finals.
Yeah, these tank lineups are going to be very important, especially because there's a lot of counterplay between the Roadhog and the Sigma. So both of these teams have a lot of way to get here, but everybody's going to kind of waddle their way here. There's no speed to be had. So initially, it looks like it will be Turbo Slack getting to the point first and getting themselves pick up as these Anas just throw it out. Nade goes long, doesn't catch anybody, but it looks like it'll be this stick off it. The Bastion does activate wheels, doesn't catch the Sigma, stuns him up, but there's a hook. It hooks Tibbs, and he manages to escape with his life. Alakash does eat the nade, get that purple, but no, unfortunately, there's no capitalized point unlocks, but no one's really able to contest here. Alakash looking for another hook, doesn't find it. Bastion's back up, has wheels. Sigma Grasp will come out to block it, and these teams continuing just to absorb and stuck. The Roadhog gets stunned with the rock, but finally, there's no picks finally going. Mark Cole does take out Alakash on the tank, and that is going to be the first opening point to Turbo Slack.
Finally, we've seen some actual take place. So that Sigma versus Roadhog battle was going off on top of the point, and finally they get the meltdown onto Alakash. And you notice that these teams are. Oh wait, we might have a disconnect here.
Oh, we got a high ping coming in, and that is unfortunately just sometimes the way it is. So we're gonna give them a second to kind of come back and figure out what's going on and causing the ping issues, but. Yeah, the initial showing from these teams is very strong. A lot of unique takes out of these teams.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So it looks like we're gonna have to reset the lobby here real fast.
That's all right.
Yeah.
Look, small indie company, you know, it's hard not to have to deal with that when you have so much ping everywhere. It's a pretty understandable place to be. But yeah, both of these teams pulling out quite unique comps and making this difference for Helios. You know, it's not what you might expect to see, but it was working in their own unique ways.
Yeah, for sure. No, but what I was saying, like, what's nice about these players is like when, like, they focus on the tank line, right? And once they took down Sigma, that was like the go button to get on top of this point. And so these teams know how to play Overwatch. They know how to play against each other. I think there's a little bit of familiarity there as well. But like in the previous matchups, like those tanks would just like Alakash would just be in Roadhog, would just be uncontested. Like would just stand there. Like people would throw as much pot shots at him, but of course he can self heal. So therefore, there was just no place. We would just stand there and let just to like absorb all the damage from the opposing team. But this time around, we saw, at least in the initial push, it was amazing just to see that finally they were just focused on the tanks, melting them down, and that tank battle was making it work. And so we should be back here. Yep, looks like here we go. Let's do this again.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna change it up. We're changing though. We're starting on well this time, so. That is the way it's going to be. We're going to try to fit. We're going to fish ourselves back to ruins. I believe is what the plan is to just kind of cycle until we get to ruins. But no, I have to agree with you because I want to speak on that because that Roadhog is just a great damage sponge, like you said. But calling in the Sigma, calling in the Ana to really just kind of sit there and say, look, you have your breather, sure, but like you can't breathe when you're purple. You can't absorb all this damage, and you can't get healed out if you're stunned all the time. So great awareness to kind of play into that. It's unfortunate that they have to do it again, but that's just sometimes the way it is.
Alrighty, well, we're gonna start all over again. Again, what we did see initially on this will be, we might even see a different composition, but it looks like it's not gonna happen at all. Now we're gonna see the Maiden Bastion for Team Botan, and now still in the Roadhog, and we're gonna stick with the same composition for Turbo Slack here. So we're gonna try this again, and hopefully this time we can take Alakash out and run into the point.
Yeah, it is going to be a little bit of a different changes. Zender also picking up the Kiriko just to kind of pick up those cleanses on the Ana, I think is the right call. And Dixon is going to be very important here also, just making sure they get those isolations onto the Sigma to really kind of deny the healing. So it's really interesting, this kind of adapted brawl comp versus this kind of playback comp. But really, Mark Hull has been a difference maker with that turret in the backline also.
Absolutely, and so here we go again. Now, are we gonna get the same thing we got last time? It's the same, but no, it looks like the tank battle is gonna happen again.
It is going to be there right around that main statue. The Roadhog does manage to get slept, but the damage is there to cover it, so no real falls yet. Again, these teams just vying for angles and trying to find some spot. Team Botan will have the initial thing. Does find Alakis on the Bastion there. That is a huge chunk of damage out, and suddenly this initial point will go the way of Turbo Slack once again.
Yeah, absolutely. Tibbus, though, on that soldier, Hitscan gets an early pick, and it now goes to the side of Team Botan. The other, even with that effort, it's still gonna go. Well, actually, I'm sorry, it's gonna go Turbo Slack for a pickup point. I was seeing the percentage increase from Botan, but Turbo Slack is the first point, and they're rolling.
Yeah, Mark Hull managing to get out alive, and Tibbus looking for a flank, finds the Roadhog on the side, just has to back away. Botan contesting now the point, just buying that space on the point, and the Hog is live there, looking for picks. Sigma's still vying and taking space. Huge purple catches 3 on Team Botan, but the cleanse is there to keep it alive. And the point contested there, May just kind of looking for an isolation. Serena finds Alakash on point, and suddenly that Bastion damage is getting taken out. Serena pushing forward with this Sigma just absolutely has been a dominant force on this tank spot.
Oh man, and another team kill rings out. Turbo Slack obviously on top of the fight here, and Alakash, even though again he's like, as far as I can tell, they're gonna stick with this Roadhog until it doesn't work. Meanwhile, Botan is now switched over to a couple of different DPS lineup as well. Mercy is gonna come out for Lovnix as well, maybe to try to see if they can keep their tank line alive.
Alakash fishing for some picks, trying to find some value, maybe even get a ledge pick. Accretion comes in, does hit the Hog, so that means he'll stun out, and again, there's just nothing really, not really able to find anything. Does find a pick finally on the important Ana, and that dies with Nano, so that is huge. That is a big important pick out of there. Still no pressure onto the point though, as it continues to take up 73 rock, and misses the second time around, but again, no pick comes through. The Flux is up, does catch one. No one dies into it, but Serena follows up on their own Flux while maintaining this presence. And again, TurboSlack continues to find this here. Maywall goes up, and the whole hog is out. Just trying to find somebody. Does manage to push the Torb off the map, and the res comes in, also making this a 5v3. So it looks like Team Botan will eventually turn this around now that they have point control here. Visor comes out from Titubus too, just to kind of fight this back. Finds two to secure the point for TurboSlack.
Well, Tibus, on the other hand, is going to get that tag visor and is going to try to save this heat. Botan has had some signs of life. They were trying to get back on top of this point. They were getting the eliminations and were trying to flip the point, but now it looks like Tibus has saved their point for them.
Great round one coming out of that. So I mean, the ultimates that they had built up really came through, but I don't really think TurboSlack really lost a map there. I'm not sure if we really need, like, the hog just constantly just got pressured out and got no real value. So Alakesh, you know, really got this far on the hog, but really has a lot to go to keep getting the value it's looking for.
Yeah, for sure. That was like, I just couldn't believe it. Like we saw Botan coming in and trying to set this thing up, but then TurboSlack, Tibus is going to be your DPS superstar for TurboSlack, because that was clutch. That attack visor came in handy, and he held on that for a very, very long time. So now they're up 1-0. We're moving over to Well, and we're going to see if Bot can come back in this matchup here.
Serena picking up the Orisa here for just a little bit more survivability versus the Sigma. Just a great little bit of flexibility is awesome to have for them. So looks like TurboSlack will manage to get there first. That first shot from the we'll go out and buy that space there with Team Botan. Has in contrition. Alex has pulled out the wheels, is looking for anything. Alakesh looking again for another spot to fish and isn't really finding anything. Gets the spear though, and the point will begin to unlock. Does manage to get the Orisa into the well, and that is a huge opening pick for Alakesh.
Yeah, that was clutch, and so that's where Alakesh is going to come into play here. I guess I think it's his first hook on the, well, not his first hook, but like definitely the first hook for elimination on Well here, and now they're going to keep on rolling here. Look at this, the kills are piling up. Alakesh is going to get 2 more eliminations.
And that just buys them even more time. A monster over on this hog. We were wondering if they needed to be staying on this or if a change to come through, and they're making this worth. The nades get traded out, and suddenly it looks like the purples are there. The hog will stay alive though for now. And Turret once again hitting on that high ground, just trying to find an angle. Does get picked out, but TurboSlack struggling to find an angle here. Looking in, just firing in on the side. Meanwhile, Alakesh looking for another, finds the Orisa again. Has clearly been putting the work, the nano onto the hog to kind of put that out there and just build the rest of that ult there. And TurboSlack will get out of dodge.
I mean, Alakesh is on fire, and not only that, but also nanoed as well. I mean, the sleep didn't work its way out for them, but Serena was on Orisa and now switches over to the Sigma to try to counter this Roadhog that's just wrecking up shop.
Yeah, Serena has just decided, I'm sick of going into the well. I am done with this. But Alakesh has absolutely been a nuisance on this hog, has been getting the full support, and now the Sigma flank comes in, gets caught out. The team is there to catch it. The Bastion continue to pop those wheels, try to find some angles in, does get a hook. Whole hog is up for Alakesh, but the the utility's there, gets stunned out of it, but it's still there. Catches one, and suddenly this whole hog in the small room is dangerous. Alakesh catches 2, make it 3, comes in huge to bring this point back.
Alakesh is on fire.
Oh, there's still more.
Oh no, it's just unfortunate, but no, Alakesh has been making this Roadhog work, and finally, like I say, he has been stuck on this Roadhog for 3 matches now, and now it's probably like on Wells where he starts to pop off, and it's not a moment too soon, because now this might be for Team Botan to get this next point up.
This is last point, 90% in climbing. It's last fight territory here. No ultimates up, so it's gonna have to be one in the neutral. TurboSlack managed to get on point, and did they get the flip here, Will? They managed to turn it in the middle of it.
What?
Oh, there's another Alakesh well hook. Does catch Serena again. So winning the fight, not even necessarily by winning by damage, winning by those fights. The Blizzard comes out from Dixon to try to find anybody. Doesn't get there, but Alex and Alakesh find a pair, make it a third for Botan, and they are continuing to clean this up. They'll flip the point back, and they will take Well map 2.
Yeah, for sure. So map 2 is on board, and now we've got. So we're now tied up 1-1. But like again, it looks like Well was the thing that really made the Roadhog pick work. And I've not seen Alakesh play any other tank hero whatsoever in the 2 matches that we've seen them in. And so now, will this work for Lighthouse? I'm not sure. I mean, you have places where you can hook people off, but you also have a lot more surface area to work with. And so it's tied up 1-1. And we've seen some massive plays from both sides. Like TurboSlack had a control on Ruins, and Team Boden's Alakesh plays on Well, but now on Lighthouse, can they finish the job?
Yeah, between Alakesh and Alex, like you said, that's just so much damage between the Hog and the Bastion coming out. So really getting into this small room quicker and making it difficult for TurboSlack to enter will go so much more, because you are not going to run into that. But speaking of running, the Soldier in Tiabus is going to get there first and buy that angle position. So Alakesh just, again, looking, poking, fishing for a little bit of space. The sleep misses, and Markle will throw that turret up on the high ground. There's the purple on the Hog, though. Does manage to get him out, though, eventually punished for it. Serena over onto Sigma will find the one. The Bastion is pop the wheels. No enough damage out. Tibbs will follow it up, and it looks like this point will fall handedly there.
Absolutely, and so it looks like TurboSlack will get this first point, but not a little bit of cost. I mean, the Lolvex will try to get back into this fight, but gets taken down right behind it after the res.
I mean, the res comes through. It's not quite enough as TurboSlack continues to build the point. A late nade will come through, and Alakesh not there to capitalize on it. But like we said, these just massive tank titans are putting in so much work here, trying to find it. Alakesh looking in, poking from the side, will contest the point here, looking for some sort of presence. Meanwhile, the flankers, the Torbjorn and the Sigma and the Soldier looking for value. Just managed to find a hook, and that is the Torbjorn out of play. Alakesh again fishing for a huge pick and finds one there. Sleep comes in, huge play comes through, has to back out, gets the support from the team, but looking for more, does find the Soldier, hook, and sinker for Alakesh. Again, Serena, meanwhile, in the back line has found two, and the point continues to tick up as this TurboSlack team continues to hold this point as well. Breather is used, and the Ana does not manage to avoid the hook. May on the point, Dixon coming in, finds a couple on the flank, looking to put in that damage on their own. Flux comes out from Serena, does manage to catch one, but nothing there with followed up by the nade, and Serena follows up on the Zenderfile. The most important healing comes out. Blizzard gets tossed in from Team Bot, and they are unable to capitalize on it as there's no one there to pick it up.
I think that Blizzard was just ill-advised. It was trying to keep Dixon alive, but it costed them their lives. And Serena, on the other hand, has kept Team Bot off of this point, just by themselves almost, right? Like the rest of the team has just been just providing the damage, but then Serena comes in and cleans up the job. And Alakesh is a little bit worse for a 75% climb. They need to finish this out.
178 and growing, and meanwhile Alakesh is looking for one of those coalescence out just to try to buy that space. Looking in, Markle will pop their overcharge as well, just forcing into the Bastion, but the Bastion falls. Got a little too aggressive. Alakesh finds one more pick off the screen, and meanwhile it's kicking up to 90%. Team Bot has to pick this up now. I'm sorry, TurboSlack has to pick this up now. There's not much there. Alakesh runs in, finds three. That's a huge purple catching two. The important Serena goes out, finds one. Alakesh is down, and suddenly there's no one here to contest. And Team Bot will take round one. The Valkyrie comes in late, but Lulvix just unfortunately eats so much damage on the way in. Team Bot will close this out.
Yeah, for sure. So Team Baden pulls this off, and sorry everybody, we had the team is wrong the entire time, but the result is still the same. Team Baden pulls it out, and Serena and making it work. So we were talking about the right teams, just the wrong team names. But either way, my apologies on that. And Alakesh, of course, gets the play of the game here. And I think this is that 4K coming in from their whole Hog. But man, I mean, like, listen. Alakesh was making it work though. I was a little bit concerned towards the end of that map, considering that he was getting all the hooks, he was shutting down the team. But again, Serena on the Sigma, like one ultimate made a difference. The Gravitic Flex it was just keeping safe. But this team, when TurboSlack plays as a team, it's when Team Botten plays as a team, I should say. Yes. Now I can say that. They do pretty well. I mean, the teamwork is coming to play, and TurboSlack was just feeding a couple players on top of the point, but not good enough. And so it will be TurboSlack's point or map pick next. And again, we've seen Blizzard World, and we've seen Blizzard World, and we've seen King's Row. There's only two that we've seen. But hey, it can be any map in any mode, but the folks have been following kind of a formula of going to hybrid decks. So we'll see what we got.
Yeah, I mean, and the question mark I have is if you want to do that, hybrid makes sense. You really want to try to get this Hog to get as little value as possible. So something like actually Numbani seems like a great pick. Something where you can't not contest the high ground, but it looks like it will be King's Row, which you still have a lot to manage on that. So I don't hate that pick. You still have a lot of high ground you can kind of contest and force this Hog into bad angles on. So realistically, you know, this is also everyone's favorite, right? Like everybody from pros to amateurs love Kings Row. This is the map of choice when it comes to hybrids and things like that. So I can't blame this pick by any means.
Yeah, not at all. And so, I mean, listen, it's called our community scrims row for a reason. It's just like that's kind of like the default hybrid scrim for everyone, right? It's going to be Kings Row, and so like we're very familiar with it. Like a lot of long sight lines, especially for also in the 2 times we've seen Kings Row. Like most of the time, people give up that first point. They give up the capture, go into the streets phase, and then they defend for their lives on the point 2. So we've seen some actual matches despite skill level, which is absolutely amazing to me that it kind of still rings true. So we're gonna get into our map here on Kings Row. Baden is up 1-0, and they're gonna stay on the same side. They're gonna go and attack first.
I mean, I can't blame them. It's probably you feel a little bit more comfortable, especially playing into this hog, because Allakash isn't going to change. There's no reason for them to change. They're feeling themselves pretty much, and you are playing well enough to contest it. So I see no reason to change that from them. But I mean, you mentioned someone here might be pulling out a Widow. I think in the
Tibbs
here.
So Tibbs on defense will probably pull out the Widow, but he's going to stick with the Soldier for now. But I saw it. I remember seeing it. I was just like, okay, like if there's any time to pull out the Widow, it would be on this map. So it'll probably be on the defensive end here. But no, he's going to stick with the Soldier, it seems, for right now, unless they're trolling me.
Nah, Allakash also looking, we were asking were they going to pick up something else here there, and they've picked up the Junker Queen. I mean, is this a usual pick for them?
No, I think this is just trying something. So this is not a usual pick at all. Like I've not seen Allakash play anything else other than the Roadhog, and now the Junker Queen comes. Okay. Maybe they know something that I don't. Here we go.
I mean, anything is possible here, and now's the time to try it as it's finals time. And I mean, Team Botan's feeling pretty strong about this. So coming out, they'll hold at the initial choke. The knife will come out from Allakash, and the Bastion wheels will come down, just trying to force this out of Serena, just to try to buy the pressure out. Purple misses, unfortunately. So they managed to push their way past the choke, and the initial May wall comes out, try to cut off the healing onto the Junker Queen, but it's not there. The point will start to get under contest. May will force out the ice block. And again, the wheels from Alex will come back down, just looking for a target, trying to put out the damage. Rissa is there to eat it up. Does get the Javelin too, so eventually getting burned down. But Serena will be the one that gets burned down first, and the Junker Queen will begin to push forward, catches the Ana out, but is suddenly caught on the other side of a wall. Not a single tick to be had, but they hold for now.
Well, this is way different than both matches we've seen. We've seen both of these teams play on Kings Row. Like this, usually it's an early capture and just like pushing on top of the point. But Allakash, on the other hand, is going to take down the May as kind of a returning piece here.
Yeah, no, I think but I think it's a similar style, right? Allakash on this Junker Queen does have a similar fish mechanic as opposed to the Roadhog, right? It's just a little bit more sustained in some ways, and they haven't died on it yet, so they're playing it well. Serena will give up the Orisa and move over to the Zarya now, so a lot more high damage coming out, trying to cut off these isolations as they push past this choke. So looking again just for a little bit more building. Already at 70 energy is huge. Looking for somebody to pick. Catches Allakash on the flank, and they're going to try to isolate there. Purple comes in, does hit the nade, but it's cleansed right out. And they are looking for it. Tibbs looking on this flank, now has an angle, and the Kitsune Rush is thrown out from Turbo Slack. Try to buy some pressure back in, but Team Botan just looking, knows they don't have to engage. The tank formation will come down. Allakash will find the first pick, but the visor from Tibbs on the flank catches one.
Look at this!
Looking for two. Looking for more, finds three. Can he make it four? Does he get punished out by the Bastion? No. He's going to win the duel, and that's 4 for Tibbs. The Rampage comes in, though, just to try to turn it back. Tibbs will eventually fall, but the damage is done. It's too late. Team Botan has gotten point 1 for now.
Oh my goodness. Like Tibbs, the hero play on the attack visor once again gets the 4K and potentially the first capture unless Turbo's like I said anything to say about it.
Nah, Graviton Surge is going to get thrown into. The purple is there too, but there's no one there. The Serena is just there with the high charge Zarya. The last contest will come through. The Junker Queen did get the nano, but it was all for naught as the Bastion rolls in, tries to bypass this choke, and eventually gets punished for it. The payload will move with 4 minutes on the clock.
Absolutely, and so it warms my heart to see the nano on the Zarya. Here we go, as a Zarya made myself. I love to see it, and now we're going to move in the street space of Kings Row. 4 minutes left on the clock to get this payload pushing all the way to Point Bravo. And again, if any indication from the past 2 matches are in play here, they're probably just going to let this go to Point Alpha and just defend for their lives for Point Bravo. We'll see how it goes.
It probably will be, given that Zarya still holding an 80% charge. The Bastion wheels are out again, and the tank formation is there. But the Zarya just continues to absorb all of this damage. The Sojourn sub comes out and does buy a little bit more space for Serena to buy a little charge, and eventually burns down Alakesh on this Junker Twin. Tibbus, again, finding it, but they've forgotten the payload a little bit there, Will. They've made the picks, but they haven't kept it moving.
Yeah, not at all. Like, you have to know what a payload is. Let's start the mode we are in right now, but the Yana's standing on top of the cart here to keep pushing it forward. And TurboSlack has not contested this at all. They're just staying behind Point Alpha to try to push this team back, but Bot is just barreling this cart forward here.
They are for finally Alakesh picking up the Reinhardt, going to find a little bit more brawly contest fight. The Zarya looking for in, goes in swinging, catches 4 in the Graviton Surge. That's huge for Serena. Picks 2 out of it, and the Blizzard to follow it up means that this is basically good and done well. There's no one to stop Serena. Gets 4. Can they make it the 5? No, it's stolen, but they get point B as a consolation.
Oh my goodness! And Point Alpha's going to be taken on the back of the Graviton Surge. Like I love this. Wow. I love this. Serena just making my dreams come true here as a Zarya made. And so the Graviton Surge plus the 4K will get the Point Alpha. And now they're going to barrel towards Point Bravo. And listen, look at this. 4 minutes, just about 4 minutes to get this to Point Bravo. And TurboSlack's going to have to defend them or a hold of a lifetime here if they want to stop this push.
Alakesh moving back over to the Hog, just fishing for answers now, has tried to give it up. Tibbus holding onto this visor, looking for something there, and I think the Nano Package is up, but Scobus goes down, and Alakesh finds 2 over on that. The Bastion ult comes out looking for somebody, doesn't catch anybody, and finally Alakesh gets punished for their crimes here. The cart continues to roll around this corner, and Botan will get that. There's the Nano onto the Sojourn, just looking for an answer, but I think the damage has been done, and they will give up the point for now.
I mean, they got the Nano, but they didn't pop a overclock either, and they just didn't see any targets. So everybody just from Bottom just backed up. That made it makes it worse. So now this card's just stuck a little bit around the corner, and this is where I think the real game begins here for TurboSlack. They're going to have to defend this card for another 3 minutes here, and they're doing well so far.
They are holding on for now, but Markle does find one across the map, so this push already looking in an advantageous position, and it looks like they're looking for it. Again, not really able to contest the Serena now over onto the Sigma. That's fine. When Alakesh finds Tibbus again, but again continues to finish it. The Sigma falling asleep right now, waiting for the backup to continue this pick. It's purple, does get hooked in, but it will eventually push out. Kitsune Rush thrown in also. And Alakesh again coming up huge onto this. Finds one more into the pit. They go. Alakesh is back and is back for more, baby.
Yeah, Alakesh is finally turning up a little bit here, and like I said, not a moment too soon. And I just as I kind of predicted, like both of these teams will probably defend at this point with their lives here, and so the Alakesh will have the whole hog available, but he doesn't even need it if he's pulling off hooks like that.
Yeah, those hooks have been deadly ever since well, so the initial jar coming in does catch 1 or 2, but there isn't there. Worth noting, Dixon still holding also onto those rails, so not quite needed yet, but should be a good defensive tool to catch some headshots with if they need it. Has been putting in a little bit of work in the background, but the plethora of ultimates built up. Alakesh again finds Serena into the depths of the well. And, I mean, this is basically as good as over right now. There's a second. Catches Tibbus for 2. Alakesh is back and is just finding more value across the way. And this again will push with a little under 2 minutes to go.
Yeah, I mean, like you wouldn't think the Roadhog would work here in King's Row, but Alakesh is definitely we wouldn't call it a one trick, we'll call it a character specialist at this point, because he has made it work on Ilios, and now he's making it work here on King's Row, and it just and again, just this defense, this hole coming in from TurboSlack is amazing, considering how fast that team bot got here. Now you're down to like 1 minute and 20 seconds up for the clock to even get to the end.
Moving into the last fight territory here, 5 ultimates up for Team Botan, and they have the chance to push through this. They just need to capitalize on this. The hook comes in, catches the Mei, and Markle gets punished for it with a bonus from Alex. The Flux comes through, catches 3, and only 1 goes down though, but that is a huge follow-up. Serena finds 2. Tibbus with 1 of their own means that this attack is live. Visor gets thrown in too. Tibbus is not done. He wants more. There's the 1, and there's looking even more. The late Nano catches it more, and the point will continue to roll with just a minute under the clock. Tibbus looking for more. Will go to the spawn doors.
Yeah, like Tibbus, like that hero, that tac visor, like Tibbus plus tac visor equals death here. He had the Nano behind it as well. It looks like Alakesh will try to clean this up. So wait a minute, hold on. Blizzard from Alakesh, the Blizzard stops it in play, but it's now too late. And Bot will complete King's Row, but it looked a little bit dangerous there for TurboSlack. It looked a little bit dicey, but they finished it out with 34 seconds left on the clock. It was almost a disaster there with just the 1 whole hog.
Yeah, I respect the discipline of both of these teams, though, holding on to those ultimates till they felt it was absolutely needed, because there was a lot of value to be had from both these teams. And you know, even the delaying the nano onto the visor still got so much value when you look at the push-ups at the end. So a great push out of Team Botan, and now Turbo Slack has quite a distance to go here.
Yeah. So Turbo Slack will be on the attack here for Kings Row, and this time they have to push it all the way and lose with time in the bank to get another shot at this. But if they get anybody short, if Team Botan holds them here, they're going to get the second map on the board and potentially be on match point for the roommate group swing Overwatch tournament.
Alakesh pulling out that hog once again. I mean, would we have it any other way? I don't see a reason not to.
Not at all. Not at all.
But I think Team Botan also has their number in this, because we see Serena back on the Sigma, and I think that's the matchup again that we have to talk about.
Yeah, for sure. I think Tibbs is sticking with the soldier, so no time for games here. I think that maybe the widow pick last time was a troll pick at this point. That's what I'm going to call it, because Tibbs has, like I said, like tac visor every single time has gotten value every single time, and Serena on the other hand, also with the graphite flex, has also gotten a lot of value. But here we go. Turbo Slack needs this map badly if they can push the cart all the way, but Team Botan is not going to let them get through this arch.
No, so much healing in this Baptiste and Mercy backline combo. A lot to be had here. They'll give up the choke for free, try to isolate Alakesh on this hog, and the wall comes through. The hook also does come through, though. May has to give up Ice Block to keep themselves alive here. Still very, very deep in the world here. But Dixon finds Tibbs on the back end, and that is a huge, huge opener for this Botan team. Does manage to come back. Alakesh strikes again, manages to find an important pick in the May, and suddenly this point looking foolish. Alex will fall down on the back end, though, as they continue to move forward on point, and that will be the initial shield. Comes down, two tanks sleeping, though, on the point. Does buy a lot more. The Mercy from Lolvix just kind of flying, making sure the team is there. So much heals across this Turbo Slack team. His Immortality Field is out just to keep Alakesh alive, because he doesn't have Breather. Eventually, we'll catch the Breather in, and I mean, just absolutely playing in just a dirty angle, is just uncontested on that angle to keep Alakesh alive. Goes deep, finds the May again, and Marcol will fall. Finally gets punished by Alakesh, though. Tibbs is there, and I think Team Botan will manage to hold this out for now.
I was going to say, let Alakesh cook, man. Let the Roadhog cook. What's going on here? Why let this man cook? No, but like, Turbo Slack is doing well so far in their defense here, but Botan Botan is doing well on their defense here, but Turbo Slack needs to find an answer for this Serena on the Sigma, because otherwise it's going to be all over. I mean, Alakesh is turning up, but he needs to turn up a little bit further to get this first part. No! Tibbs goes down.
Now man down, fighting on the point. Alakesh looking, already has hookup for another one. Serena holding onto this Flux, needs to catch somebody, but the Ana's out, and that's basically as good as over. That's so much healing gone. We'll commit the Flux anyways, and the Mortality Field is out. This means they can capitalize here. Does manage to catch one. Looking for the Mercy, has to kind of find that pick. The whole hog gets committed, but eventually it does interrupt. Great play out of Alakesh to hook that and commit and continue the whole hog, so they'll get themselves point A.
Absolutely. So finally, I mean, not at the moment too soon here, because like Turbo Slack was looking a little bit worse for wear for capturing this first point. But they'll have, like I said, they want to finish Kings Row. I'm not worried about finishing with time with better time bank. We want to finish Kings Row. So with 4 minutes and 25 seconds left on the clock, I think it was a very similar time bank for Botan as they got as for their attack in the base as well. So Turbo Slack is going to push this card forward.
Early Immortality Field does just try to keep the rest of the team alive. Alakesh, again, just constantly fishing, has not gone punishing. We need to get this man the ice fishing hog skin for real for this, with how these hooks have been looking. But there is the nano visor up from Tibbs. Does manage to catch it with a beautiful purple. Catches both supports, and a third Serena will clean up in the back. Dixon will also fall, and this, an aggressive defense. It cost a lot, but it was well worth.
I mean, listen, like I said, Tibbs plus tac visor equal death. That is the equation. That is the formula, and he got another 3K right behind that. Yeah. And so the Botan's going to stop him right before this arch here. And Turbo Slack's going to have to group up and try again.
It is. I mean, that's such a strong, and they managed to rotate this with the nano with them. Oh, but the pizza does go down on the Moira, dies with Coalescence, and that could be huge going into this. Considering that that was one of the two ults they had up. Trades will come through, and the Imp Matrix will come out. The Mercy will res in the backline, but really the damage has been done. Serena finds Alakesh, and suddenly these tank lines looking like they're holding. Tibbs will follow it up, and I mean, with the hog done, it's basically all over here for now.
Yeah, it's just going to collapse right on top of them, and it's going to stop them once again. Another push, stifled here a little bit. I mean, they're going to stagger out a couple picks here, but it doesn't matter. The point is that the push has been stopped, so we're going to have to regroup and try again. But this Alakesh guy, he's just going to dive right in. It's like what is the team composition? I don't care. I got a hook.
Now we're deciding, all right, let's take the flank. We can't get through this choke. Let's take the flank around. And it's 3-man flank squad pushing in. Alex on the front pushes through. Looking in. Hey, guys, there is the ultimate on Death Blossoms up, and he gets punished before by Serena, so that's huge. A great pick in there. And Dixon now moving into the backline, taking the deep flank, looking for those rails. Couldn't quite find anything. Knows cars needs to be going. Alakesh doesn't find what they're looking for in that backline, so they'll just have to give it the space again. And suddenly this 4-minute clock is burned down to 2 minutes.
Yeah, two and a half minutes for 2.5 minutes left to get to the stage phase, at least to get to point alpha. You'll get another minute and a half on the clock, but that's not going to be comforting for this TurboSlack team, considering where they're being stopped in front of this arch.
No, they are not. They'll finally push through the choke, though, and suddenly it's TurboSlack. Great shield catches. Flux catches 3. Blizzard to follow it up. Alex finds 1 with the Blossom, though, and that is a huge pick. But Team Botan has found several after those all of those ults are committed. And now it's just the lone tank surviving. And again, Team Botan continues to hold here. The late coalescence from Lollipop, just fine. You're just there to clean it up anyways and keep the team ready because you know this push is coming back quick.
Yeah, for sure. Like just a crazy carnival of ultimates there that were ultimate fiesta that happened. There was just so much that was going on. The Reaper, the Sigma, the Roadhog didn't pop his at the very least. He held on to that for this next push. But yeah, you'll have the Valkyrie just got popped as well from Mercy for TurboSlack.
And the Kitsune Rush plus the whole Hog. That means a lot of damage and a lot of cranked Hog coming out of there. Hook doesn't find anybody, but he will continue to push back as that Hog is getting boosted. And the resources put in is there, but the Nano Visor from Tibbus is there. He's looking for some. How many can he find this time? Finds 1. Finds 1 in Dixon, looking for more. It does eventually get punished, so no will fall early here. And TurboSlack will finally get some pressure on the board with Alex leading the way with the Bastion.
All right, so finally the push comes through, and look at this. All 5 members on top of this card, they're trying to get to point alpha as soon as possible. Less than a minute on the clock, they'll get some more time, but now what's really important here is going to be this last leg onto point Bravo if they can get to this point alpha first.
I mean, Dixon has the only thing up, it's rails, and I don't even think there will be a contest. It looks like they'll give this up just to get that there, so they'll get a free minute and change on this. But Serena falls early, which means that they'll have a little bit of space to take here, and Tibbus already pushing, trying to delay this push back, trying to build up that visor, just chipping away at what they can. So the last couple picks here finding through as the spam damage fights through, and they'll round the corner as this cart continues to move. 2 minutes on the clock. The isolation onto the Hog is there, but there's not enough follow-up. The Maywall was spent to get that, and you can see Alakesh on the flank there. Alex finding to fire in. The Vegas Hook. Markle does manage to fight. He gets the pack behind the Hogs, so that's a huge thing. Alex cleans it up, though, with that grenade, so the Bastion ult will come in, and this is a go button for TurboSlack. They feel it finds 2 with the Bastion ultimate. Huge to keep this attack going.
Oh my goodness, and so it looks like Serena was also trying to pull off the Sigma as well, but it does not matter. And there it is. It's not the golden box of victory, but they definitely need to finish this map, and they're barely towards it, and Team Botan's nowhere to be found.
No, they're still respawning at this moment, and Alakesh will find one more. Markle been the unfortunate survivor.
Test the point! Test the point! Oh, no.
Flux is there. Sigma will buy the point, and the visor is there. The visor is out. It catches 2. Looking for more, but the Hog is out there. It is purple. Can somebody stop him before he gets the value? No, he gets 3. Alakesh comes up with 3. Looking for more. Doesn't find anything else. Has his breather live, and no one's there to touch for TurboSlack, so we go around again.
Oh my goodness. And with a better time bank as well. TurboSlack, I mean, it looked a little bit dire in Street's phase, but once they got to point Bravo, they just walked right onto the point, and they have a better time bank. So now it looks like Team Botan will have to go first.
They'll have to, and I mean, considering let's talk about the horse. Let's talk about the elephant in the room, shall we? Alakesh on this Hog has been an absolute nuisance. The second they are allowed to just have sightlines to catch somebody on a hook, is basically been over, and is just there's just struggling to contest against that. And meanwhile, Team Botan, they can't cycle these ultimates quick enough. You know, they are trying, but the soldier with this nano visor that comes through, it only comes through every 2 or 3 fights. So really, there has to be something else to kind of pair it. Both these teams have their win conditions in their eyes, and they need to find an answer for when those win conditions are online.
Yeah, for sure. So here we go. So now, like I said, TurboSlack has done their job. They did get to the end. And again, I was not expecting them to get a better time bank at all. And so Team Botan look at another minute of the clock, but now they're on attack, and they need to see if they can push this card as far as possible. And I will tell you, from other tournaments and things that we have done here, in just my luck, whenever I cast, I tend to cast overtimes, or at least extra innings, if we're going to call it that, for Team Botan, going all the cart pushing all the way. But it's going to be a tough task and a tall task for Team Botan as they go on their attack for the second time around.
Yeah, they're going to look at this Symmetra as an option to maybe reposition a little bit quickly and put some extra damage out. But the hook immediately onto Tibbus is a huge problem. Just punishing those players who get out of position and really are trying to take too greedy of angles has been a nuisance there. But he's abandoned the team. The Mercy and the Bastion are just isolated. Alakash will find one more in the back. But again, this team bot and team can't quite find the ground to hold on. They'll take the advantage position and get forced back. And that means it's now one fight left. Miracle will move over to the Junkrat as this pressure continues to build. There's the rock onto the Sigma, and Zenderfile will find one onto Tibbus again, meaning this TurboSlack team has so much more to hold. 15 on the clock, and Alex finds yet another pick. The Bastion continues to find in, and it's just going south for bot and so quickly. They can't find a leg to stand on. The Junkrat falls as well, and TurboSlack will get the hold no problem on the contest.
Oh my goodness, and Team Bot gets nothing. There is no one here on top of this point at all. And so now this sets up a win condition for TurboSlack. They just need one tick on the point, a minute and 30 seconds left on the clock, like 30 seconds more than what Team Bot had just to get a tick off of this point, and they will win King's Row and tie this up 1-1. But if not, if Team Bot knows them again, oh my God.
We get the rare draw. Yeah, as we've seen it. I mean, how do you think... I mean, TurboSlack have a minute and a half. That's a couple fights. So how do you think they... I mean, we know what they're going to come out on, but what do you think the key is to their success here? Because Team Botan had some pretty different looks here that they were willing to pull out. So what do you think they need to do to keep this successful?
I think it's if there was ever a time for Alakash to turn up, it would be right now. I would say Meltdown, whatever. Like Team Botan's going to go with a different composition for this fight, but like if they can get down to this arena to like collapse on top of Tibbus, I think those are your two keys to take them down. So I would not have Alakash. I would have Alakash just soak up the damage, try to get on top of this point, and just force Team Botan to collapse on top of them. But your DPS line and Dixon and Alakash are just going to have to melt down either the tank line or Tibbus, and I think that would be good. But like they cannot like. Maybe they take one dry fight and try to get to some ult percentage up, but like I wouldn't trust that with minute 30, well, minute 24 left on the clock, I should say. So here we go. Team TurboSlack just needs one tick to push this out. Otherwise, we're going to a draw. We're going to our next map.
And that will be a quick hook from Alakash, looking for more. The purple does come out, and the jar only catches the Bastion Spear. Looking there, and Alex will pull out the wheels already, looking for some more of that damage to May. Markle, again, just looking to try to find an isolation. Can't quite find it. They'll give up around this choke and try to hold the spot. Serena doesn't really know where to look, unfortunately, trying to find the hog to keep him in contest, but can't quite get there. So, again, the Bastion will continue to put this out. Gets speared, though, and Alex falling dangerously low. Almost was an important pick to be had there. Now under the minute, so that means this is going to be the last pick to go. But nothing traded out here. The purple does come out, and again, the Bastions continue just to pull up these tank formations to try to bind this. No one they can't make forward. Onto this, Alakash can't seem to find an angle to find a pick, and Tibbus falls. That's one of the two key players. That's one of the two key players. We need to pick Alakash versus falls purple. He is dangerously low, but manages to survive, gets his breather, and suddenly half the space. Serena is the other pick that we're looking for. Falls dangerously low, doesn't get healed up, and they fall too, which means that this break is coming through, and TurboSlack will get already built Kitsune Rush, and that will be basically all she wrote. They will get the first ticket. TurboSlack takes King's Row.
Yes, that's what I was just saying. It was Tibbus. Tibbus and Serena melting them both down, and that was the key to the game. And now TurboSlack is going to tie this up 1-1. We got ourselves a match here.
We got ourselves a match, but we got to give a shout out here to Serena too. Who I mean, this is that 4K Zarya. Yeah, look at that grab, catching 4, just putting in the work. The late coalescence also building into that. The Blizzard as well to throw it in, but both of these teams, it's okay. All those just beautiful plays. I mean, there have been shining moments from both of these teams across the rosters, and it has been impressive to see both of these teams. So, really seeing it 1-1, I don't think is shocking to anybody. I think the more shocking thing is just how surprisingly adaptive we thought these teams were going to be. We thought we were going to see a bunch of one tricks maybe out of TurboSlack, but they're showing that they have some flexibility, and the ability to recognize win cons is doing them so much.
Yeah, for sure. And so like you can't count anybody's out. So now we're right back to the best of 3. But like it took us the extra innings for King's Row to make this work, but definitely TurboSlack had the overtime strats to make this work as well. And still Alakash is making the Roadhog work. I like he only switched off once for the Junker Queen for the attacking phase, but they made it work the entire time. And we're just going to keep on rolling. So now we're down to the best of 3, like a legit best of 3 now. Yeah. And considering, like, I don't know what our next map is going to be, but we're just going to keep our roll. Actually, we're listen. This is a standard. This is a standard match here. We're just going to do Havana next.
Havana.
So now it's an escort map.
Yeah, we're going to escort, which is actually surprisingly pretty close to how the pros will play and how the high level competitors play. So you love to see that. But I mean, Havana is always an interesting one because typically this is the place of long sight lines, of snipers. But I think we're just going to see more like hogs and bastions, and I don't hate that at all. This is not at all. This is a great grungy, like in the streets fight, and this is a great place to do that if you're looking to brawl in the streets.
Right, and also Team Bond again with the hit scan DPS line, just putting in work. And so as you mentioned, we're going to do escort on Havana. Like I might as well just fill out the rest of this because like I think if we go to map 4, we're going to go to push, and then it'll be the control map for the finish, kind of deal. So hey, but we at least are guaranteed to see a 4th map, so I'm gonna guess it's gonna be a push map if my my memory serves me, or at least if the trend continues as we pick different map types as we go. But yeah, listen, this is amazing. This is absolutely amazing so far.
This has been an incredible finals for this roommate little event here, and I mean, this is going to be. I think if you're, this rivalry feels like it's had the time to stew up over the weekend in some ways. Right? Like I can't imagine how tense this initial first meeting for the day must have been, knowing that like these two teams were going up head to head, and both of these teams feeling like, yeah, no, we got this. We've been feeling pretty strong, and now coming into this point, there's just so much tension between these two groups that I have to feel has built up, and they are giving it all and looking fantastic on it.
Yeah, for sure. And on top of that, I mean, like it's recorded. There's no way you can say like, oh yeah, I did this and I did this, or like we won by this much and we were performing so well. It is recorded for the history books. You can go back and study your maps, study your VODs, and and maybe next time, maybe in the spring, or this is the spring tournament, so maybe in the fall, we get to do this again, and we'll have history. We'll also have history ourselves, so we can definitely talk about past performances and how. So listen, you can't get away from the watchful eye of us casters here. We definitely
I agree with you. We're gonna know, and we're gonna remember, and we're gonna talk about and hype up and build that for you, because I mean that's what makes this so enjoyable. Because let's be real here, this tank battle should go down in company history, if you ask me.
For sure.
Absolutely. This has absolutely just been a monster duel between these tanks.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like the tank battle has been amazing. Just seeing Tibbs on the soldier, just a masterclass on the soldier as well. Like again, just all the value of the attack visors, and again, even with the tank lines themselves, like they know they know the value of their ultimates as well. Serena on the Griffith Flex has been amazing. The whole hog, when it's come out, like it doesn't come out often, but when it does, it wrecks shop. And so we're waiting to get this map started on Havana. It looks like they're going to stay on the same side, so Botan will be on the attack to start off with. But man, I mean, considering they could have picked any other map, right? They picked the next mode. So I'm happy about that. I applaud you all for that. That's gonna be amazing. So here we go.
Yeah, hey, talk about making us feel good. We're just get to play to our strengths of knowing, kind of getting an idea of where we're going. But I have to agree with you. These teams are looking so coordinated, and you could tell the practice and has kind of come through, because you can see how these ult combinations are getting used together between the whole hog and the Kitsune rush, between the nano visor. These are not necessarily the easiest plays to make work when you're in a team environment. So kudos to them. I mean, Will, on Team Botan, we're seeing a couple different things I didn't expect to see for certain.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I didn't expect the Hanzo.
I'll see. So this is what I'm saying. Like Tibbs, pulled out the Widow last time, so maybe he knows something we dealt on Havana to bring out the Hanzo. We'll see. And also the Junkrat. So also both of these teams were playing Torbjorn at a certain point. They had a lot of pitching cam. Here we go.
You'll love to see it.
Listen, next time for fall, we're definitely gonna have multi-op, so we can do the whole pitching cam thing and
then get around. Yeah.
So here we go. Team Botan will be on the attack. It is down to the best of 3, ladies and gentlemen. So they're going to be attacked first on this map of Havana. Let's go.
I mean, Alakesh also picking up the Sigma here is a new thing as well. So, I mean, this is going to be an interesting matchup because we've not seen how these two Sigmas will play. And you can see that Serena feels confident in this matchup, taking the aggressive angle, holding that corner, does manage to get up. Alakesh blocks that rock, so really just buying the space back. And you know, Alakesh, we've seen them play into this Hog, but playing very aggressively and well on this Sigma, looking for the angle. Zenderfile will fall in the back, has picked up this Sojourn in the back there, as Alex has swapped over to the support line. So making these changes to really pick up what they were as the cart continues to roll around this first corner. Res will come through, but again, this TurboSlack team holds strong on the angle, and they are able to hold this high ground falling through. Zenderfile does find a rail onto the backline, but Serena wins the tank fight, so suddenly this cart will continue to roll.
Yes, there's a role swap we go. So Alex is going to go support, and Zenderfile is going to go on the DPS, but those making it work on the Soldier. And now Alakesh is now officially on their 4th take hero in the Wrecking Ball to try to stop this push card from Team Botten.
It's coming in, but the Wrecking Ball now from Alakesh making those changes, searching for an answer, and the picks will continue to find through. They find the isolation, but there's not much there, and Serena keeping this spot going. Misses the rock, unfortunately, but they do hit the sleep onto the hamster, who gets punished for it. And Alakesh, I think it'll be only a minute or two before they end up back on the Hog as this continues to move, because Team Botten and enabling Serena looks very, very strong here.
I mean, yeah, Team Botten is just roaring this car through. I mean, like he does get the res onto Alex. Will be like a support for support. I love that. But this card is going to touch point alpha, and now 4 minutes and 51 seconds on the clock. Keep on pushing through Habana.
They'll enter into phase 2, into the brewery, and you know, now with Ultimate starting to come online, it looks like anything is possible. Tibbus finding Dixon is a huge opener, which means that this cart will roll through this initial breakpoint without much of anything. Alakesh just rolling, trying to find something as we come to the next choke point, and Serena playing a little bit aggressively, trying to smells the blood in the water, going to try and find the out. Catches on the high ground, and Lovix does take a log through the head, unfortunately. So again, these early opening ticks from Team Botten really find it. This is Serena going deep, senses the blood in the water, finds that they are just uncontested there as the backline is available and just is ready to clean this up. 3 ultimates on board. Meanwhile, Alakesh has capitalized on the back of one of these tanks, just kind of going off and playing their own games right now as it continues to move. Minefield onto the cart also will buy a little bit of space as Tibbus gets crushed there, and the cart will roll to a halt here. Rails have been popped also by Zenderfile, who finds 1, looking for more, can't find the second, does find 2 onto the pizza, and a great showing from Zenderfile on this roll swap as well.
Absolutely, and so we're looking to see if we can get to, well, the car's being stopped right in the middle of brewery, but like Zenderfile's playing all the way forward here. Let's try to get down, but Tibbus is just going to take them down with the, take them down right behind it. But the signal comes out as well behind it.
Oh, we commit both support ultimates into this, so it means we're really there. Blizzard as well from Dixon means that we are just denying this. We do not want to play in this, but Sigma Serena finds 2 and continues to keep this card moving. A bit of an overcommittal from TurboSlack, maybe feeling themselves a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. And so this card's just stuck right in the middle of brewery, but like Team Botten is trying to clean up these last set of kills, and now they're going to be pushing it forward here. So a little bit of a pushback for TurboSlack, but Alakesh is going to stick on his Wrecking Ball. He's almost at the minefield, but he's just rolling around and just taking shooting heads and taking names.
It really is, but I think the other thing is on the other side for Team Botten. We have Nanovisor up, Minefield goes out, looking for just to try to buy some space. Serena very deep, finds the May, can't quite capitalize, and meanwhile, TurboSlack Zenderfile coming in huge with 2 of their own rails has been absolutely phenomenal on this. Dixon finding 1 of their own to clean it up, and they got the win, no Nanovisor needed. Yeah,
absolutely. They're going to hold on to this attack visor for a little bit longer, but listen to this. Alakesh is just playing all the way forward. Team Botten is nowhere to be found with this card. Like they're not being TurboSlack's not being punched for just being like spaced out on the other side. Wait, here wait, now it's gonna be just a wrecking ball battle in the midfield.
No, and Zenderfile going way deep. With the help from Alakesh to try to find something, does find 1, gets slept, but the damage has been done with those rails, will eventually send it out. The Sojourn coming in off the bench has bin huge. Alakesh finding another one on the swing through, Serena finding 1 of their own, but again, TurboSlack continues to hold with sub 2 minutes on the clock.
Yeah, for sure. And so, like Alakesh is like, listen, I've been playing this Wrecking Ball on Zenderfile once again. Finds another rail shot and finally gets taken down by Serena. But yeah, I was gonna say like Botten is holding on to a lot of these ultimates too. Like they're gonna have a full 5 stack just to try to push this together.
Yeah, they can't find a way because Alakesh is playing this ball similar to how you might play a Hog with just a little more speed. They haven't been able to find anybody to capitalize on this, but 5 ultimates up means that Team Botten should be able to push some Qs and hopefully move this through as the Wrecking Balls collide. They'll hit the choke and try to say it. And Markle looking on this flank has an angle. kind of gets spotted out, realizes he can't take the high ground, so he's going to have to take another angle to try to find a way. Serena cuts minefield just to try to get a little space, forces out the Valkyrie from Lobix. Oh, does catch 3 out and realizes he's in a bad spot. Marco will come through, find one, has to drop their own heals and commit through. But the card has been moving, and there is Rails looking through, finding more. Counter mines comes in from Alakesh, does manage to find Tibbus, and that is a huge shutdown on those Rails. Visor comes out from Marco, no, nothing there. We'll find one with the Visor. Alakesh finds 2 to counter it out, and Zenderfile looking, just trying to find anything more. The Blizzard comes out just to try to buy a little bit more space, and again, the hold comes through for TurboSlack.
I mean, TurboSlack, every single time bot activates an ultimate, they shut that player down. I mean, the overclock and the tag visor both got shut down right behind it. So, like, Team Bot was going on 5, and now they're down to just 2 ultimates, just full support ultimates. And again, nowhere to be found. They're just playing too far apart here. I mean, TurboSlack just fighting the isolated duels and taking them down one by one. Zenderfile once again takes down Tibbus after he switches over to the Sombra.
Oh, that's a huge early pick, because less than 30 seconds on the clock means it's going to be hard to get there. Marco over to the Torbjorn, now finds the turret, and Lolvix falling means that there's too much going on. The team for TurboSlack is there. The reinforcements will be in soon, but Team Biden is taking the space, the Torbjorn and the Wrecking Ball going forward. And so they're looking there. Serena will find one, with the card continue to roll as overtime ticks down. Full support ultimates up, will be committed. Alakesh does find one, but it's fallen dangerously, though, has to get out. The Nano is committed onto Serena just to try to buy the space, and it looks like there won't be a contested time. In TurboSlack, the mines will come out just to make sure that stays there. Lobix will die to the mines in the last second to contest, and they'll get point B.
I mean, it looked a little bit dire there. We went into overtime just to get that. And TurboSlack just after taking the space away from Bot, and that gave them the space to get to point Bravo. But a little bit worse for wear. All that time bank was taken down through Brewery. So now you've got like less than a minute to get to the last point, and if TurboSlack plays the better defense, they're gonna go. And Alakesh just gives up an ultimate just to go back to the Roadhog.
No, he's decided playtime is over, and we're going back here. It is going to be a tough opening, but Marco over on the Torbjorn finding value with that turret. You know, you're already contested by that Torbjorn swap anyways, so now you have to give it up. There are a couple ultimates up across the board, and I mean, with TurboSlack coming in here with the Kitsune Rush, all it's going to take is, a Kitsune Rush and Zenderfile Rails to make a difference here, and that's a great opener. Looking for more, and there's the Kitsune Rush followed up. Zender finds a second with those Rails. Alakesh finds one of their own, not to be outdone. It looks like the hold will come here. Serena finds 2, though, and it will eventually come back. Alakesh will find one more. 30 seconds on the clock. There's still time for a recontest, and that might have been a little too early to throw in those ults.
I mean, where was that? What was that turret doing? It was just fighting, shooting people off the flank. I mean, but either way, TurboSlack does, it costed them a lot of ultimates here, but Team Biden is still trying to push. So 10 seconds up on the clock. They need to stay on top of this card. Otherwise, if TurboSlack can just get this last defense, it's gonna be gonna work. But Serena's not gonna let that happen.
No, capitalizing on the nade, finds 1 and 2. The whole hog is out for Alakesh, but is getting boosted, but there's nothing there. We'll force out the Suzu and the mines just to try to stop this. They are Team Botan is trying to find this, but Alakesh finds 2. And finally, we'll keep this rolling. The overtime continues to flow here, and I don't think there's anybody to stop. The Echo comes in and forces the nade to come down here. Blizzard from Dixon will come through and catches 1. They have to clean this up. Molten Core as well. As his overtime continues to continue, Alakesh finds 2 again there, and it continues to just to find these picks. Alakesh, another, has been an absolute nuisance, and you can see the Mercy Pocket doing so much work onto this hog. Can't hook the hook, but in the back, Tibbus finds the visor. Is there anybody to stop it? Alex immediately comes in to shut that down. Will not have that right there. Hooks the ball, and suddenly the overtime ticks down. A great play for Alakesh to hook the ball away to shut that down.
Yeah, that wasn't the hook for a kill. That was a hook to get them off the cart. And so, look, I mean, TurboSlack pulls out the defense, stops him just point Charlie, and now there's a win condition on the board for Botan here. Or sorry, there's a win condition for TurboSlack. They just need to push the card a little bit further. They can get to the golden box of victory this time, as opposed to what happens on King's Row. But man, TurboSlack, I mean, just on their defense has just been amazing so far. Haven't seen this high of an output for TurboSlack. Usually they're kind of trying to catch up to Team Botan's rotations, but TurboSlack has made it work and made their presence felt. Now Alakesh, they forced Alakesh to switch off of Roadhog. Yeah. I mean, he played it at the end, but he showed us a couple more heroes that we haven't seen all tournament long here, and definitely was needed for this grand finals.
He's clearly the jack of all trades we didn't know. You show him one look, think you got him. He catches you looking, because his Wrecking Ball play looked very, very good too. And granted, those two do have a similar style, but like you said, when Alakesh is done playing, he's going to go back to that hog, and here it is as well. And Zenderfile, looking at the Widow option, this feels like a hit scan specialist that we just kept on the support line for the time being.
Yeah, for sure. And so, I mean, a pause is going to come through.
Yeah, there it is going to be. Yeah, that's fine. It'd be like that sometimes.
All right, so, but yeah, wow. We'll see. We'll see how long this pause is going to be. I don't know if it's a tech pause or not because I didn't see any DCs, and so, but yeah, like for TurboSlack, like again, we've seen a much different defense coming out from them for the past 2 maps, and now on their attack, it seems Alakash is going to stick with the wrecking ball to start off with. And to your point about Xenophile, like again, that long sightline in the first part of Urbana, when considering. Right, when we've seen this on pro play, right? Like you're fighting the long sight lines, you're using the Ana and the Widowmaker just to pick people off. I mean, I've seen some massive holds on this first choke because you had that long sight line.
Oh yeah, I mean, if simply just having those sight lines and not allowing the opposing team to get into spaces will do so is so big, given Habana, and especially if you are playing against TurboSlack, who is probably not likely to have a shield. If you saw a lot of ball, if you saw a lot of hog, all these things where you just have free sightlines, you don't have to worry about getting dove. Absolutely, the Widow looks like great value. You just have to have the confidence to click those heads in it. I mean, Xenophile has looked phenomenal on that Sojourn. I absolutely would put my faith into them given how they've been shooting today.
Yeah, for sure. And so we're still on a tech pause right here. We're kind of getting some technical issues worked out. So we're just gonna keep talking about this matchup here. But again, TurboSlack on the other hand, like if they show more of an attack phase that they had than they did on defense on Havana, they could potentially go up 2-1, and this would be a little bit of different of change of pace because Team Botan came out so dominant in these last 3 maps. I would imagine like the Team Botan would be on match point right now, but as we've seen, TurboSlack turning up in the last second and mostly off the play of Alakash on that team play, making a difference in both of these maps, right? But like, yeah. I mean, hey, listen, I can see this being a TurboSlack 2-1. I can see this Team Botan 2-1, but whoever gets the match point, it would be loser's pick for that 4th map, and I'm guessing it's going to be a push map if the trend continues, and you only have 3 push maps, right? So like, what kind of skills can they have on here? And also there's no chance for a draw either. So like the card has definitely moved too. So
yeah, given how both of these teams have been playing too, I think it's hard not to discuss the flexibility of all these players, right? We've seen both of these tank players cover a lot of different tanks across the games today, but we've also seen the flexibility of all the other players across the DPS, even the supports who we've been relatively quiet on, but a lot of them have been putting in a work across so many different supports between the Anas, the Kirikos. We saw the Baptiste even. The one thing I have to say is we haven't seen there's been a couple years we haven't seen, but we got to shout out the flexibility of these players to really try to find creative solutions to the problems that are put in front of them, because sometimes the answer to the terror that is a Roadhog is an Ana, is a Junkrat, is all these things, is a Bastion, but really the flexibility of these players has just been incredible across all 3 of these games so far.
Yeah, for sure. So we're a little bit of an extended break here because we have like some technical issues we're trying to work out. So while we're doing that, we're gonna cut to a quick break, and we'll see you back when we get back our match. right, welcome back. We finally got our issues resolved, and we're back into this. And once again, Turbo Slack is on the attack here. So we're seeing what they can do on their attacking phase. They're going to do, like, hopefully they can push this out. They want to get to match point by getting to the second map on the board. But now if Team Bot has anything to say about it, as they pulled out both the Torbjorn and the Soldier to start this match off.
And meanwhile, Alakesh has picked up the Zarya again, another tank in the jack of all trades kind of knife here, and will face up against the Sigma, just looking and building up a quick charge already. Alakesh dodging that rock because the Sigma continues to hold this front corner, looking for picks and just kind of firing down. And there's the first opener from Lolvix. That is a huge chunk of healing out. But meanwhile, the Zarya has found one in Markle, and again, these picks continue to slowly come out here. As it seems, look, Alakesh will take the nade, but Zenderfile in the back has found another pick in their counterpart, and Turbo Slack will keep this card rolling.
I mean, Serena was trying to melt down the Zarya, but to no avail. And this high charge between Zenderfile and Alakesh, they have definitely melted down this opposing team and Team Bot, and they're just going to push this card forward. They might get point alpha out of this.
I mean, Serena is going to have to roll back quickly on that ball to do so, but it will round that last corner, and we'll see the ball kind of cut down there. The turret pushing on mid, just biting a little distance. Zenderfile finding both the turret and the Maker, so that is an important pick down as Serena rolls through, just to stall the card a little bit. And the rest of Turbo Slack will continue to push, just holding the space right on the mid. Serena looking forward and does find a pick, but Zenderfile in the back is the one to open it up on the Skozma, and will eventually just continue to hold this out as the changes come through. I mean, it's just the lone ball trying to make this pick, and Turbo Slack will get a pretty quickly here.
Yeah, for sure. Well, they like, it was like Serena had the right idea, was trying to stall for time, but then moved away too far. So the card does get point alpha, and so 4 minutes and 53 seconds left on the clock. A very similar time bank that Team Bot had on their attack, but now they got to do a little bit better and try to push to this golden box of victory.
Zenderfile already with that railgun up. It says a lot about the shots they've been hitting, though. And catching someone out here, as Dixon will kind of spot out there, looking at the, they'll take the high ground, as the cart will kind of stall for a moment, and that'll be the railgun out from Zenderfile. Does find Serena immediately looking for more through the chaos, trying to find anybody. Quick firing. Does get backed up by Dixon, though. Goes long, finds another one. Looking for one more. Can't quite find the Moira, who goes into the corner. Finds there's nowhere to hide, and Zenderfile will clean up the kill.
Why was Zenderfile playing support to begin with? I mean, the Soldier play.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Like, he's here for business here. He's being ready for taking heads and taking names here.
Look at how deep he is.
Jeez.
He's already deep. He finds Markle way in the back, just playing isolated as Serena comes in for the slam and will pop. And they'll force Lolvix to come out with the Valkyrie to get that trade back. Alex has been doing their best. They'll commit the Kitsune rush with the minefields there, takes them out as they rush into it. I mean, Turbo Slack, like you said, has looked very, very good here. And again, these changes have revitalized new life into them, as the rest of Team Bot will have to just give up control, and the point will hold for the time being. But Zenderfile, not content, will find another one as the rest of that field comes through. Serena just trying to disrupt here. Can't quite find anything. Kick him off the high ground. Nothing really to follow. Zenderfile is taking it into the front line, though. Immediately finds Markle. No fear in this Sojourn player at all.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like, Zenderfile is now in the overclock as well. Just like we were focused on Alakesh this entire time, but like, it doesn't even matter. He's not even making an impact on this map. It is Zenderfile all day. But look at this. Tibbus gets his tag fire there, and once again, Hero Play gets at least 2 down, but in front of the overclock, he gets taken down right. So look at this. With just about 3 minutes left on the clock and another minute and a half to take on, Turbo Slack is now 4 minutes and 30 seconds left on the clock to get to this golden box of victory. They are barely through this point in Havana.
Zenderfile has stepped up as the hero moment to play alongside Alakesh. You know, we were talking about the people we need to keep an eye on. I don't think Zenderfile was on either of our radar, but they are looking impressive on this Sojourner right now.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like the swap from support to DPS is coming in clutch here for Turbo Slack. They want to win this and win this badly. Zenderfile is here to play, and so the Kitsune Rush comes out.
They will throw in that, and there's many rolling through, but nothing quite having it there. Alakesh does find 3 in the grab. Can't quite clean it up, though. They'll build the rest of the charge. Doesn't, unfortunately, finds 1 in Pizza, and that is an opening pick that is important. That's a lot of healing down, so looking for more. Does find Serena, who's just trying to stall out the cart with this Hammond. Does find a slam, but no one to capitalize on it. Will eventually get punished. The rest of Team Botton will have to give up, and Turbo Slack keeps this cart rolling.
Yeah, for sure. And so, I mean, they're just finding all the attacks. Alakas is just going to barrel through between this duo. It's not even a DPS duo. It's just a DPS tank duo. And Zenderfile and Alakas are getting all the frags, all the kills. And this card is barely towards the golden box victory. Team Botten has only one ultimate, well, 2 ultimates to be found for this next fight, but they got to do something quickly to stop this push.
They have to hold on to those ults to make him get good. The field does take away and deny the high ground. Looking for more as it enters the castle, and we're taking the last bit of his space. Orb come through just to try to find it, and the swing comes through for Serena. Doesn't quite get anything. The mines are out, and that'll buy, but Zenderfile's already opened it with 1 on their counterpart. It'll get res through. Serena finds 2 now, and suddenly this team Botten, now only up 1 player, is going to struggle here to hold this. Serena getting burned dangerously low. Manages to get healed up. Finds Dixon with a late mine, and that's maybe the opening they need here. Zenderfile holding on to this, gets in a rush, and there's a tire coming out, looking for 1, sends it, does get picked though, unfortunately, as the Zarya comes through. So again, in this choke, fighting for space. Alakash finds 1 in addition to that, and that is an important pick. And Tibis, the rails are popped by Zenderfile, looking for something there, does find 1, and it looks like Zenderfile will clean this up. I think this is basically Turbo Slacks to win here. They'll find another, and again, Zenderfile, the hero. The hero play that Turbo Slack needed will roll them through to giving them the 2-1 lead.
Oh my goodness. Turbo Slack. That swap was key. The swap was key. Finally, not even signs of life, just straight up domination from Zenderfile. And of course they get to play the game as Sojourn. It just like look at this. Every single time the overclock came through, like Zenderfile was on top of it and making it work. And oh my goodness, look at this. This was before 0.50. This is amazing. This is absolutely amazing. And so now it puts Turbo Slack on match point here for grand finals. Like they can win it all in this next map.
This is, I don't think anybody saw this coming. I don't know that anybody knew this Sojourn play, because Sojourn is not an easy player to pick up by. Like that's not an easy hero to play by any means. So really just coming through on this Sojourn and putting in an impressive showing and a fearless showing at that just says so much about this Turbo Slack team. You know, we were looking at the tank line thinking this was just going to be a tank carry. Oh no, we've apparently just been holding back on this the whole time.
Yeah, no, apparently not. And so it was just a swap, like I said, a roll swap for Turbo Slack has made all the difference in the world. And so now they're on match point. It will be Botten's pick for this 4th map. And again, if trends continue, we might be seeing push. And if we're seeing push, I mean, there's no real preference on what 3. Like everybody has like a preference, a preferred push map, but like there's no real. I would say there's no real big difference between the 3. There's chokes, there's the bot, and there's everything else. And so, but like for Botten, I'm sure it's just kind of a shell shock at this point, right? Because they were just kind of not used. They were used to Zender being on support, but him switching over to the Sojourn was not something they were expected at all. I had no answer for going into Havana, and so we're gonna see.
Yeah, we will. That's just unfortunate that with this push map is going to be a very interesting thing. I think we're going to need to take a quick second and go to a break, though. So we're going to take a quick moment, and we'll be right back with the final match in just a moment.
For sure. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry for the long technical delay. We had some issues we needed to figure out in the back end, but we are good to go. It is Turbo Slack on match point in this grand finals matchup, and we're going to New Queen Street.
We're going, we are keeping as Overwatch traditional pattern is, we'll go to push, and New Queen Street here is definitely one of the more brawl-centric picks. You know, not as much high ground to contest. There's a little bit here and there, but this does bode well for Turbo Slack, considering their comps have particularly favored being in your face and being partial to hogs and bastions and things that are putting a lot of damage to your face. So very interested to see what they do if they want to close this out here. Team Botan has also shown their share of flexibility, though, so this is their pick, and this is obviously a map they want to go to for a reason.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So once again, it is Team Botan's map pick here. Now they have to, they will have to beat Turbo Slack on their map pick on map 5, which will probably be a control map if we're going off the actual trend. So this is an actual Overwatch match. Like, this is something we would like put together. In fact, I think this is even the same order as far as like maps are concerned.
This is the same order. Yeah, this is everything is exactly as Aaron Keller, our Overwatch overlord, planned. So you know, now just the question mark is, what do they roll out on?
Right, for sure. And so if Turbo Slack can pull this off on New Queen Street, they will be your Group 8 Group Spring Overwatch Tournament champions. And if they can't, then Team Botan will push us to the map 5, which will be in control. It definitely will not be Ilios. But like I said, we've seen surprises all afternoon long here, and now we see what puts it to the test. I mean, Turbo Slack was definitely worse for it earlier in this matchup, right? They lost the first map on Ilios, but they have come back strong on both Havana and Kings Row. So I can't wait to see what we're going to pull out here next. And Alakash is going back on the Roadhog.
Yeah, we'll see back Alakash on the lines, Zenifile back on the Kiriko with Alex back over on the Bastion. And, you know, that's a pretty standard comp for them. Big, for anybody who's been following EU contenders at all by chance, has big Clockwork Vendetta vibes to it. So respect to this longevity of this team. And Team Botan, well, they'll pull out what they're used to playing as well. And Serena back on the Sigma has looked very, very good. So both of these comps, you know, par for the course for both of these teams as they approach the bot. The Bastion wheels will come out for the side of Alex and pepper down Serena a little bit, but Tibbus on the flank, you know, has the angle now, and it's just going to come for Alakash to look for an angle, try to punish this aggressive angle, try to find some value. The bot will have fallen the initial control of Team Botan, and again, this Bastion on the flank gets stunned out, but the damage has been done, and there's the first pick onto Tibbus. So how long they'll be able to hold this here, Alakash will come up with one of their own, and Team Botan will die next to the push spot here as they continue to run out of options for members to hold themselves up with.
I mean, Team Botan's looking good so far. We also have to note that Xenofile's back on support here, so Alex is on the Bastion and has made his presence felt. At least takes down the tank line of Serena, and so now they're going to push the bot the other way.
Yeah, I mean, this was fine. Alex looked good on this Bastion and has found a lot of value on it. And Alakash, again, finding another pick after getting this cart rolling in their direction now will continue to make this roll. And like you said, Alex back on the Bastion. I do like this pick for them. It worked on one of their maps prior, so I see no reason to bring it back.
Yeah, not at all. So now, it looks like now that Turbo Slack is in the lead on the push point. They're trying to get to this first point here to get the old butt scratch, if we're gonna call it that, for push. Yeah. But Team Botan's looks like they're gonna take him to him right here in this fight.
Yeah, especially with that initial Ana pick, unfortunate there. Alex will get stunned out of those wheels, and the flux is there. Only catches the Hog, who has the breather to survive it. The Bastion ultimate will come out, try to catch anybody. Unfortunately, catches only the turret, so that is something there. Serena now isolated by the bot. Doesn't really have the support they're looking for, but will eventually get out. Alex is going to turn those wheels back up and just try to get some fire, some focus into it. Markall gets caught out in their own fire, though, and will get punished for it. So this Team Botan is going to get pushed back. Alakash does get slipped out of the hog. Eventually gets woken up, though. Lolvix does die to the lava, though, so Team Botan will turn this around and get control of the bot.
Yeah, for sure. And so now the bot's going to go the other way. They got some things to cover, but it's going back and forth so far in this matchup here. And only one ultimate separates. Well, it's going to be two ultimates because we have the Blizzard and the attack visor and Tibbus. You know, again, Tibbus getting all that value on the attack visor as well, looking to initiate in this next fight.
Both these DPSs with strong ultimates can get value and have shown they can in the back, but Alex testing the fates, pushing themselves forward there, and Tibbs on the flank now is very deep in the line, taking the duel versus Dixon, trying to get that pick, trying to find that value there. We'll get walled off for now, and just trying to find it. Does eventually get blasted down by an ice school, and we'll have to see themselves back here. Bot will get to the corner, and it looks like it'll be there. Serena will kick it off with the Flux and followed up with Tibbs. We'll get it, but the no visor needed. The rest of the team has fallen in the meantime. We'll find one with the rocket, and they'll get the first butt scratch point.
Yeah, for sure. And so look at this, just 3 ultimates, like the makes the difference between bot and this. And now they've got the first butt scratch points. Now there's the butt scratch. There we go. And now we're gonna move this bot forward. And so we're looking to see if Team Bot can just push it all the way.
Yeah, Alakesh will punish Tibbs for those taking a little bit forward. Again, fishing, trying to find something there, but not much to be had as this takes. Alakesh had about half, doesn't necessarily have it anymore. Will have their breather, but is eventually just going to get punished out by Markle and caught in that small room. Alex will just rain down from above, but can't really find any picks as the bot continues to move. There hasn't been a lot of contests for Turbo Slack, unfortunately, and Alakesh will give it up and go over to the Zarya, deciding, look, this isn't working. We need to focus in, and I need to do the damage myself. It's just time to bring it out. So Skazma holding on to this Nano, looking to probably put it onto somebody here. Maybe be the Nano Torb as we go into this. Shots will come in. Alakesh will pop both bubbles there. Both of those used as they contest the bot. Marco will eventually get burned down with no abilities to do that, and they die with that ult in hand. So eventually just getting, overstaying their welcome on this point presence. Rocket comes in, does manage to hit, but eventually will get pushed back again. Alakesh high charge gets pushed out there. Alex will send in those missiles and does eventually get pushed out, but it's just Serena taking this presence 2v1, 3v1, and eventually gets forced out. Finally, Turbo Slack will get control of the bot.
Yeah, for sure. 2 words I never thought I hear you say: Nano Torbjorn. All in the same sentence, but it doesn't seem to matter. Turbo Slack's finally a little bit of action here. So the signs of life. They do take down Team Bot in one push, and now the bot goes all the way back.
We'll have to run it back all the way to the front, and there's a plethora of ults from Team Botan coming into the other side, but Alakesh has their grab, and we've seen some huge plays come in with these Zaryas in the past, so that'll be the Flux to kick it off in addition to both grabs coming out now, so not really able to capitalize. Lobex falls, though, in the Graviton Flux, though, so that will be big. The Consumer Rush comes out, caught out, kind of balanced by the purple, and Tibbs will find one of their own, so as these resources get traded back, it looks like Team Botan will manage to win out without having to commit too much. I say that, but there's the Coalescence to win this out. The Blizzard is thrown out as well, and both the members caught out. Alakesh is cleaning up these picks for Turbo Slack, but unfortunately, it's just not enough members to really keep themselves alive. We'll trade out Serena, and finally, these picks, after going back and forth, Pizza will be lost in the fall. Alakesh putting in the work to keep this bot alive.
I mean, it's just unofficial team kill coming in for Alakesh. It takes out all 5 members of Team Bot, and now they're going to push this bot a little bit forward. But remember, Turbo Slack is on match point here. If they can push this all the way, that is it. That is curtains. That is Turbo Slack winning the tournament.
Looks like they're going to try and pick the Kiriko back up here. Try to get yeah, there it is, as a teleport back in to get this strong 5 fight as it catches the butt scratch point. There will be the contest here, so we won't exactly get it across for the moment being, but the rest of these ultimates are still available here. Both bubbles used by Alakesh, just struggling to kind of hold this front line as the turret continues to pelt from the back. The Molten Core comes out, separating the Zarya from the team, and they're 1 bubble away from being it. We'll have to dive into the small room to get back out. The bot will move them way back. There is the Nano onto the Soldier. The attack from the Nano Visor is up. It's live, and it is forcing down. Times 2, Tibbs for 3. Again, there's that play. We're looking at a Team Botan to come up alive, and that is enough to keep the swing the bot back in their favor.
Yeah, absolutely. Tibbs once again. Attack Visor plus Tibbs equals death here, and so they're going to keep this trend rolling where they get another 3K with that Attack Visor. Now this bot going to go all the way back to the other side, and Team Botan's going to tie this thing up.
Still 100 meters, more than almost twice the distance that Turbo Slack has it. Nav control. Alakesh does find Serena, though, and that is a huge opening pick, especially if the Zarya charge up means that there is not much standing in the way. It already has another Graviton Surge, catches 3. They might send it in. No, they're going to give it up. They're looking. The Nade comes in, though, so they're purple. No cleanse available, so just going to try to catch this Ana out as they take control of the bot.
So, yep, sure.
Turret continues to pelt in. Serena back now, contesting this at the mid-ground, so at that back starting point. But the Zarya beam just too strong. 56 charge and growing. Will commit the Flux. They could have almost forced that out. No one dies in that Flux, and there's the Bastion ultimate to balance it out a little bit more. So does find 1. Serena gets cleaned up in that Bastion form. So again, Turbo Slack just taking it in, winning with minimal committance here. Well, they'll commit Oh gosh, Valkyrie late. Okay, looks like they want to take this next fight aggressively.
I was gonna say, like, it's a little ill advised, but hey, you know, like maybe TurboStack knows something we don't, but they do have both their DPS and Shank Ultimates ready. The Graviton Surge, the Continuing Rush, and the Blizzard ready for this next fight. And look at this, Serena's so to the Ramatra.
The Ramatra, yeah, that's a new one we haven't seen out here, really just trying to control the space that Zarya takes. We'll throw those hands and switch to Nemesis form just to try to buy the space back. Team Botan trying to control this high ground. The Torbjorn is there. The Kitsune Rush is out, though, which means that the rest of these ults are soon to follow. There's the Blizzard going long and the Graviton Surge, and that looks like it caught all 5. Will, it's over. The fight is done and dusted.
Oh my goodness. Another push from TurboStack is making it work. Now they've tied it up, and now they're looking to win this right here in New Queen Street.
Yeah, there's not much more left in this push. They take the lead, but more importantly, they still have control of the bots with 1 minute left, and the Zarya swap has been making a lot of work here. Pizza has the only Coalescence up, and it's going to have to get used. Tivis will swap over to the Sojourn to find some value. Dixon coming up with 2 of their own, though, to fight back, and Alakesh continuing to find and punish these aggressive players here. The damage is just too strong for TurboStack. Marco will find 1 on the way out, but the Bastion will roll in and force the Ramatra out. There is, oh goodness, Marco finds it too, and they will hold here with less than a minute on the clock.
Oh my, the drama, it was almost there. It was almost to completion for New Queen Street, and TurboStack was looking at the final set of push, but now Team Botan has got the bot back, and they're trying to push it all the way back, but like TurboStack needs to get back to his bot like very, very quickly. They do not want Team Botan to have a shot at winning this map.
No, it's still 14 meters though between the two of them. The turret will fall, and that is the bot getting back to mid. 2 ultimates up for Team Botan as there is Annihilation up, but Alex again with another one. Alakesh finding Markle on the back though does not bode well for this U-turn here. Alex gonna send in the mortars and see where it lands. Doesn't look, misses somebody, but it makes it speak for Alakesh to go forward. The Ramatra Annihilation is sent in, and that finds Sender File in the back. Alex will get run down as well, and this TurboStack team, it doesn't have a space to hold here as they continue to push the bot forward. It was a bit costly, but now in overtime, Team Botan can't afford to step off here.
Yeah, not at all. We are going to go into overtime here, so now the heart needs to be pushed, or sorry, the bot needs to push as far as it possibly can. They need to stick with it. One fight can make the difference between TurboStack and Team Botan, but they're going to have to push as far as they possibly can. They see what the highlight is at the end. They might be able to push it a little bit further. Look and see what Team Botan can do here. And the numbers are going down.
No, Alakesh finds 3, including that opening, and with Marco and Skazma not down, that is a 3rd. Serena eventually gets punished, but it looks like it will take down, and TurboStack will be your grand finals winners.
Yeah, absolutely. And TurboStack, after losing Ilios and getting back on Kings Row and Havana, and dealing with some role swaps, have pulled us out, and they are your grand final champions for the Room 8 Group Spring Overwatch Tournament. It has been a ride of a lifetime for us. You know, this is insane. And also the Zarya play. Again, Zarya being the main, being the play of the game just warms my heart as a Zarya main. It's so amazing. But sometimes. Congratulations to TurboStack. I mean, like they did it. They did it. They shut down Team Botan at every freaking turn. It looked like Team Botan was going to push us to the map 5 though towards the end, but you know, ultimately TurboStack comes out on top.
Yeah, it was a hard-fought battle from both ends, and you know, the changes that came through from TurboStack really did the difference. So hey, I mean, that wraps up this little fall split here, and I mean, that's a lot of things to look forward to in the spring. I think you've got a lot to look at. You got some team things to evaluate, and really you just got to consider where you're going in the future, because both of these teams had a pretty solid run going into this, and it's just unfortunately someone has to lose here.
Yeah, for sure. It's just somebody has to go, and like I said, there were 12 teams that played this tournament, all very different skill levels and everything else. So we had a great time. I mean, this is we don't get to see these kind of tournaments that often. Usually everybody takes it seriously. It's like all the right stuff, all the right calls and everything. But hey, it's nice to see that teams putting compositions together we would probably not see in a professional match, but hey, it worked itself out. So still up, you know, like I said, I want to do a quick shout out once again to Arclet, who came to us for at EVNA Sports and the Invitational to help us put this thing together. Thank you so much. But still, do you have any final thoughts from what you've seen today?
I mean, there is a lot of interesting talent going on here, and I love the decisions that are being made. It's been a pleasure to cast you guys. If you enjoyed the casting, my name's there. You can find me on Twitter there. I do this a lot, and hopefully we can catch more in the future. I would love to come back and see more of this. These players have been phenomenal.
Well, absolutely. Well, I've been told that there could be another one in whatever. So, like I said, I'm definitely looking forward to the fall tournament here, and we'll have all the storylines, we'll have all the action ready to bring it to you. I mean, like I said, I would love to come back as well. This has been a lot of fun for us. So thank you all for watching. Thank you all for tuning in. All I can say is congratulations once again to Turbo Slack for pulling this out 3-1. We will see you next time for the fall, if not sooner. Thank you very much.